I'm going to be talking about the right to vote. How many of you here are girls and you know that you're going to be able to vote? Raise your hand. All right, put them down. In the late 1800s, no women can vote. So women fought for suffrage and the right to vote. Many people refused to grant this to women. Some people believe that women should just be housewives and should stay at home taking care of children and cooking. Women's suffrage movement began in the 1890s and began getting national support. Elizabeth Cady Stanton and Susan B. Anthony founded it. National American Women's Suffrage Association in the 1890s to promote women's suffrage. On that same year, women got the right to vote in Wyoming, Colorado, Idaho, and Utah. Carrie Chapman Catt became president of NWSA in 1900s. Some people believe that NAWSA did not go far enough. Alice Paul founded National Women's Party. Paul even organized a picketing in front of the White House. Paul and the others were jailed for the actions.
In 1919, the 19th Amendment was passed. The 19th Amendment granted women the right to vote. A year later, it was ratified and made into a law.
In the mid-1800s, children and wives were often beat up by drunken men. Adults would drink alcohol to escape their problems. Saloons became popular meeting places for people who wanted to escape from their problems. In 1874, reformers nationwide came together to try to ban alcohol in the states. They formed the Women's Christian Temperance Union. They wanted to protect their children and themselves from drunken men. With the leadership of Frances Willard, 10,000 branches of the WCTU were made. Over 1,000 saloons were shut down to the WCTU. The most famous temperance worker was Carrie Nation. She was known for bursting into saloons and smashing the liquor bottles. She'd throw them around the walls and hit them with hatchets. In 1919, the 18th Amendment was made to ban the sale, production, and transportation of alcoholic beverages.
Right, and African Americans challenged discrimination. White reformers overlooked issues like racial discrimination and segregation. African American reformers took the lead in addressing these problems. One of the most important African American leaders was Booker T. Washington. You might have heard him from the high school down in Homestead. He became a respected educator when he was around 22 years old. He encouraged blacks to improve their educational and economic well-being. He believed that would eventually lead to the end of discrimination. But Booker T. Washington was not the only person who spoke out directly against discrimination. There was a journalist by the name of Ida B. Wells who used to write articles about the unequal education available to African American children. In a particular article in her Memphis newspaper, Free Speech, she drew attention to the lynching of African Americans. Lynching was when people were murdered by mobs instead of receiving a trial after being accused of a crime or for breaking social codes. A lot of people were lynched for just being African Americans, for not doing anything wrong. In fact, 3,000 African Americans were lynched between 1885 and 1915. Like Wells, W.E.B. Du Bois also took a direct approach to fighting racial injustice.
Native Americans refused American culture. They formed groups to help support members. Many formed neighborhood associations. Thank you.